Hey y'all, it's the Dirt Flipping Cajun here, bruh. I'm just wanting to make a video on a really cool find that I made a few weeks ago. As I mentioned before, planned on I've been planning on making different videos where I show previous finds that I've made that I didn't get on film because I hadn't started filming yet, and this is one that I made about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's one of the best finds I've made, not because of the quality of the points, but because it's a cache. Yep, I found a cache, and I was so stoked when I found it. I wish I would have filmed it, I really do, but I hadn't started filming yet. I hadn't bucked up the courage to put videos on YouTube. My brother has been hounding me to do it for a while. But I just don't know why. I just didn't do it. But now I am. So, anyways, I was in my hole and scraping along the sides, and these three fell out of the wall in one scrape. All I did was shoop, and these three fell out all at the same time. And at first I was like, wow, that's an interesting coincidence. 3 points being in the same spot. I mean, amidst the crazy excitement, I was perplexed that there was three in the same spot. And then I did one more scrape, and whoop, two more fell out. So, anyways, I talked to LA Country Boy, and he said that they look like Delhis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Delhis. I think that's how it's spelled. Anyways, yeah. I mean, you could tell that these were made by the same Indian, and they were touching each other. I mean, this is obviously a cache. I mean, 5 in the exact same place. I mean, that's not a coincidence, and the same style. And I found these two on the same day. They were a few feet away from that spot, but pretty close to each other too. So I don't know if that was part of the same cache or not. This one looks like it could be. It's similar style. The base is a little different, but it very well could have been made by the same Indian. Beautiful point though, nice and long, well made, thin, real thin, little curve up on it, but yeah, these are great points, and I was stoked to find them. And this one, if you look at this one's a pooter. I mean, in the words of Guy Cuccio, this is a pooter. Look at this thing. I mean, don't mind that little bobo on my finger there. Look at this thing. I mean, it is rough. He had a very difficult time making a point out of that. But it's got character. I mean, it shows how much they utilized the materials that they had. I mean, stacked up. I mean, look at this. And this is interesting too. He didn't put an actual edge on this thing. If you see, that's the outer cortex right there. It goes right up to the cortex, the edge. So I don't know how he made this point like this, but he got it out, and it's sharp. It would have been deadly, but it's ugly. That's for sure. But it's a cool artifact nonetheless, and any point is amazing in my book. So it's definitely got a neat story to it. But anyways, back to the cache. So yeah, those two I found separately. But yeah, all of these were together, and if you notice, most of them, or at least 3 of them, have that red base, and it's the closest to the outer rock. If you look, you can see the cortex on the base itself on all these, and they're thin. They're certainly not G10s. I mean, there's definitely imperfections on them, but they're well made, and they're sharp. I mean, he put needle tips on all these things, so it's definitely an interesting cache. They're all made very, very similar. This one right here has a big chunk taken out right here, but I think he still would have used that. It's still sturdy. The needle tip. My guess is he damaged that when he was making it and decided to stop right there and said, I better not knock on it I better not knock on it anymore if I don't want to break this tip. So, but I think he still used that. If not for a projectile, then definitely for a blade, because it's sharp. Look at that tip though. That tip is needle sharp, and like I said, it's still sturdy. So I think he still would have used that, and it was definitely with his other ones. And this one's kind of a funky one. It's got a really lopsided base, but again, extremely sharp tip. Fairly thin, well made. It's pretty straight, apart from that curved base. So yeah, these points definitely have character to them, and they're all so similar. You could tell that these were made by the same guy. And he probably had them all like wrapped up in a piece of leather or something, and had them stowed away for future use. Who knows? Or maybe they were inside of the actual hut that he was living in. I don't know. There's no telling, but they were definitely all together, and I think that they were definitely made by the same Indians. So, but yeah, this is a beautiful one too. Like I said, they're not perfect. They're not G10s, but it's a cache, and that's really rare for any neck of the woods, much less my neck of the woods. So yeah, it was an amazing find, and I'm still hooting and hollering about it. It's not every day you find an Indian cache, that you find 7 points in the same day, 5 in one spot. I've only found about 60 ones altogether, so to find 7 in one day is a big deal. It's not like Flint's ball, I'm just kidding with you, Flint's ball. But, so, anyways, this is pretty cool, and thought y'all would enjoy that. Anyways, God bless y'all, and happy hunting.